Hey YouTube, this is Pump. Today I've got my best pug key of the entire season so far, I'd say. This is on a Tyrannical week. The affixes are Tyrannical, Explosive, Sanguine, and then Thundering. So with our route, we pull these six lashers and we pull them into the room. There is a route where you set off the whelp for percent, but we don't do that one. I don't think it's that good on Tyrannical weeks. So we're in our combust on this little guy. I should have targeted the big tree here, but we still get off most of our go. Ends up being okay. Just trying to be in rune as best I can here with all the swirlies on the ground. I rune in my escape ego, and then I have to leave my rune to clear on the melee here, so I'm a little sad, but ends up being okay. Pack's pretty much dead already. We're just scorch spamming, building on this guy. Then we're onto this little lasher pack and the two on the ledge so we can jump off. I should have been LOSing where Star was here. As you can see, there was a Mystic Vapors that went off in the back and they could have gotten pulled in closer, but it's okay. I speed this up a little bit because it's just the same thing over again. Shifting power, Scorch Spam. I should have been just Scorch Spamming this, but instead I got myself to the proc and then I cope and spend it there. But I could have been definitely having an SKB go down here when we jump down, so I would definitely slow fall yourself there instead of blinking because you actually want blink for movement down here. Here I run out of movement for when the tank keeps pulling because he pulls into this next tree as well. And then I'm kind of max range and I don't have any blink charges here. So I have to move out of the swirly just by walking. And then I max range, get myself to go on this SKB go. So here's our damage. I blink up for Rune SKB just to be closer. Tank pulls really well there. I leave my rune, just walk up, and then I speed this up a bit. Where I intentionally save shifting power here. I don't want to spend it before boss because I want it to blow up the slimes during the boss, and I wasn't sure if I'd have it back up in time. Probably would have been fine if I used it immediately as I got there, but better be safe than sorry. So we clear. I say I'm lusting on pull here. So here I'm already at 6 stacks of SKB. I start my hard cast, and then I don't rune here. I know I'm going to have it up in time in my actual go. And then now I get my hard cast off with a Pyroclasm proc. And here I make a mistake. I rune way too early here. I could have had at least like 5 more seconds of rune up time if I just saved that rune for a little bit after. But I was a little scared. Here I get my SKB proc off. I have another Pyroclasm proc, but I don't spend it. But this pack feels great on Fire Mage because even after they die, they stay alive for a while and Ignite keeps ticking. So our damage gets padded a little bit. It's a little bit of useless damage, but it feels good. Here I could have saved Rune for that SKB go. It was a little sloppy for me. I should have waited just a couple seconds to get Rune off, but it's okay. We're just chilling until our next Combust go. I blink to clear on him. I'm watching the frontal. Trying to pre-position where I want to be during this tree clear. Space out as best we can. And then I'm building up my SKB before I combust. I get my SKB now. Now I'm into my go. I combust. And we're ready to own. Get to do all my damage here. It's great. I blink out of the swirly from the tree. I think the tree knocks you up in the air if you get hit by it. I get my SKB go with a Pyroclasm proc. Feeling happy. Now we can just Scorch Spam. I almost get actually hit by the frontal there, but here I make a pretty big mistake. We both want to clear that tree in the back because it's like the only way we wipe, and then we both explode on each other. But we get all the trees anyways, and I don't die. So apparently that doesn't do much damage. This is on Tyrannical week, so apparently, yeah, that won't one shot you. I kind of thought it would one shot me, but and then we just finish off boss. Slimes are all dead. We're just chilling, can score spam our entire life away. So now we're into the 2 pack after the staircase and skipping the little shrieking guys. But our pug starts throwing out a compliment here. I like seeing Fire Mage. Oh, they are my favorite. And now we're blushing. We're like, ooh, Fire Mage compliment before our buffs? Okay. So we just skip forward. I invis past it, try and get a little move speed, but do not combust on these two. You will hate your life if you press any cooldowns on this boss. This goes for any class pretty much. You don't want to cooldown here because right after this you have like a 6 pack or even more than a 6 pack to kill. So do not cooldown those two guys. They are a joke. So here we're into the 6 pack. I want to ramp on the heavy tome guy. The biggest thing to worry about with these packs is letting icy bindings go off. Icy bindings will be the thing that wrecks you. But I have Monk CC, I have Demon Hunter sigils, so not that big of a worry for me. Just doing my full SKB go. Those swirlies take a while before they go off, so I greed my rune cast. And here we kick icy bindings right as it goes off. Feeling good. Whew. Spend our SKB go, and then we're just scorch spamming until we walk up. Building our scorch up. Getting an SKB go for the next pack. No rune for this go, so we just spend, get a Pyroclasm proc with it. It's nice. I should have lusted here. This is when lust just came up, and I thought the next pack would be bigger, so I held it. But I should have completely combusted right here, or I should have completely lusted with this go right here. Would have gotten a lot more value. I would have ended at a much higher damage if I just pressed the lust there for myself. But instead, I hold it for the next pack, and it ends up being worse. But we still end up at an okay damage. I have to leave my rune there. Not ideal, but that's how it goes with swirlies on the ground. Can't always dodge them. Just finishing off this last guy. I get an SKB. Just spend it on this. Ends up living long enough to get at least my value off. And then this next pack is the pack that I lust, and I think it was a mistake to not do it there. Definitely should have done that last pack. Would have gotten more damage. Probably would have ended above the monk at least. But I lust this pack with no cooldowns because I know I have to put it on a cooldown. I can see exhaustions at 4 minutes. Um, because of shifting power, we can actually lust at 4 minutes of exhaustion because shifting power affects the cooldown of time warp. So we actually have a little bit of breathing room as far as when we want to use our second lust. Here I clear last second. I have to blink to melee, or I just run into melee and leave my rune for a bit. But pack's dead and we don't care. I hold at 7. I'm hovering 7 right there. I'm like, can I get it off? And I do. I just double fire blast, and then I rip aggro from him because I double fire blast. But then I get my rune SKV go. We're fine. Everybody dodged that frontal, thankfully, from the guy I pulled. Get my SKV go. Shifting power. These packs are really chill for ranged. Melee have frontals to worry about, but as long as we're kicking icy bindings, we are fine. I kick condensed frost there. It's not a big kick, but people already kicked icy bindings, so I wasn't worried about it. So here I have a really tough decision. The mobs are all like 30% HP, and I have combust up. So I get my SKB go. I decide I'm going to press combust because I hope he's going to chain pull. I hope right here I'm hoping he just chain pulls so that I get more value. But instead he creeps it along the edge and waits for us to finish it off before moving. So a little sad for us, but definitely should have held. If I knew he was going to hug the inside and not pull, I would have held combust for this little 2-pack. But ends up being okay. Speed this up a little bit. Not much to talk about. We're just scorch spamming, funneling it to the big guy. I spent a Pyroclasm proc. I use my little Rune SKB go because of the melee slam. They can't hit it, so whatever. And then we're on to the most annoying room of the entire dungeon for us. So these guards have a shield that just protects them from 35% magic damage. You can see it's a big blue aura around them, and it lasts like 7 seconds or so. And we want to spell steal it when we're combusting the main target, but I don't think it's worth it to spam spell steal on these guys. Right there, I just see swirly. I'm just like, fuck it, I'll just see how much it does because I have the magic DR, I think. But so here, just spell stealing the one shield. I don't think it's worth it to spam spell steal on all these guys. You'll run out of mana if you do that. So I get my little root SKB go on the big guy. Icy Bindings actually goes off there on a mob that's just about to die, but it's okay because there's just one pack left, or one big guy. Finish off the little guy. He's out of Sanguine, thankfully. Speed this up a little bit because there's just one big guy. I spell steal it there. Just reserve your mana when you're spell stealing here. Just make sure you don't yourself, whatever you do. As long as you're above like a quarter mana, you're fine. But anything less than that, and you're really worried that you'll run out of mana when you do your combust go. So this is my combust go. I decided to do it on this guy. This is the highest HP I could pick. Condensed Frost isn't that important to kick. It's just like a tank damage thing, but it scales with the higher key you go. But it seemed like it did no damage to our tank there. Maybe you had mitigation up, but it's not that important of a kick compared to Icy Bindings. Icy Bindings is still much more important. So here we're just spell stealing our ramp target. I have an SKB go ready. I target the high HP guy. Demon Hunter kicks Bindings. I have to blink out of a swirly there. I could have probably just ate it, but walk up into shifting power range, just shifting power. I see I have combust up in 15, but I probably am not going to get it off in this pack. My damage is already pretty much done for this pack. Get a little SKB go with no rune. We're happy to get off a little more damage, but pretty good pack. Not much Sanguine healing. Tank did really well there. And then we're into a pretty annoying boss for us. I say I'm lusting on pull, so I get off most of my damage. I think it's good to lust on pull with this boss. You might lust after the first ad set. I'm not sure. There's definitely an argument to be made where you lust after the first 4 set of ads go out in the like intermission. Here I agreed. I don't dodge that frontal really. I just kind of watch it go by me. I spend my Pyroclasm proc and bust here. Really good. Hit 288k there. That's pretty high. Have to leave my rune there. Sad. And now we get lust a little bit into this ad set. So I think it's important to see how I do here. So I go on the side that my team isn't on. I opt to stop targeting this guy and switch to get my SKB off. And Ignite keeps ticking on the ad that's still alive, which I'm really happy about. I see it's ticking for 17k a thing there. It's really good to get some of our Ignite to tick, at least. And now we're back into this. There's an argument to be made where you lust right out of that, but I think it's fine for us on pull. We're just kicking bolt, getting off a little damage we can. I have my bust up. I save it for the SKB go. I greet it again because I want my full 18 seconds of combust. I have to blink out an orb there. It's fine. Here I just really want to get to my SKB so that I can get my combust go. I could see that in 12 seconds he's going in intermission, so I need to get my damage going right now. I rune here. I opt to wait. I just spam Scorch, and then I get my SKB go on the ads. If you do that, you have to be really careful with where you're blinking. Um, you want to be as far away, but not out of range of your healer. There's like a sweet spot where you want to be, so you can still blink out of these orbs and hardcast your pyro. See, like here, I barely blink into an orb. I have to block, and then I'm a bot, and I just straight up walk into an orb. It's just tragedy struck for me right there. But the team has good ad damage, and we end up killing the boss right after this. So my goof there. Only death at dungeon so far was me, and not feeling great. But we still kill the boss after this before the next intermission. We're fine. Spend our SKB, and then we're just chilling. Now we get to do some fun pulls. These pulls on fire can be really, really fun if your tank is aggressive. These breakers are kind of annoying. They randomly target somebody and just shield charge to them. If you get shield charges, you want to mirrors. But so I decide to ramp on the biggest HP guy, which is the breaker, even though he can charge to somebody far away. Here, Thundering's up, and I get my full blast going. We're really happy about this. I greed a long time for the Thundering, and then I get a walk to my lock, who's close to me, clear there. I get shield charged here. I should have mirrors right there, but it doesn't one-shot you even on a 20. Maybe on a fortified week, you're more worried about that, but it's okay for us. As you can see, we ended at 170k. We love killing these frogs after the nerfs. This dungeon feels really fun after the changes they made recently to it. We blasted that pack with no lust. Feels really good. Now the staircase is a little awkward because of all of the movement involved. So here, we slow this clip down a lot. We get a helpful teammate alert. I kick an explosion. Let's go. My only one. Fire Mage hates dealing with explosions. We do not want to ever have to do it unless we absolutely have to. It sucks. So I'm just building up my SKB go with Lust, or with Combust, excuse me. I get my Pyroclasm proc, and then I'm into my Combust go. He chain pulls it down there, so I'm really happy, but I LOS myself on this little like pillar thing, and I miss a lot of casts there, and an explosion goes off on me, but it doesn't do much damage because of the height difference. So here there's just a bunch of mobs everywhere. It's a little bit of a clown fiesta. I rune and I clear. I try and dodge the shield breaker and all the frogs. I'm just trying to figure out where I can get my hard cast off here, honestly. I walk back into my rune range afterwards. A lot of sanguine everywhere, but all the mobs are pretty much dead now. Just a little bit of spaghetti. We're chilling now, though. Here I could have held my SKB go to the next thing, but whatever. So with this pack, another big pack that's really fun, we do the same exact thing. We target the Draconid Breakers because they have the highest HP. I shifting power early just to get in my combust go, and I actually instant combust. But here, I see this explosion to my right, and I'm like, in my combust go, I'm like, oh, I don't want to do this. I have to do it. I do it anyways. We miss a lot of damage there, honestly, just by pressing Fire Blast over there and not ramping it on the other guys. But better than that than wiping to something random like that. So that was where we lusted. That was our second lust window, and that was a really good second lust. As long as you do it on a big pack like that, it's always going to feel great. And that was even with having to deal with an explosive. But we get to spend our SKB proc on this pack. I speed it through because this is just a slow pack. Biggest thing you could do with this pack is line of sight the shoulder charge. If you stand around a corner right as it's about to cast, it won't actually go off. I try and do it here, but I'm just a little slow to do it. Barely hits me. It's fine. We kill off this pack, and then we're on to third boss. So after nerfs, this boss feels pretty fun. I'll show you some tech we can do when we get into this boss, but there's a debate here whether or not you combust on pull. I decided to combust on pull here. I'm not sure if it's the play. I think he's up long enough to get our value off, but leave a comment down in the section below if you think you should hold combust as opposed to doing it here, because as you can see, he goes into his going in the middle and he's immune to damage here. Um, I get most of my damage off. I think I ended at like 50k, but he doesn't take ignite damage when he's in the middle. So I think after thinking about it, I think you do hold combust. I don't think your damage matters enough. You hold combust for after he comes down from that. And here you can alter time this living bomb right as it's about to go off. You can explode it off the edge pretty much. You just alter time it. Feels really good to alter time that. This little lightning thing, I was wondering if it did damage to me if I was standing in it, but it looks like it's just a visual effect to show that it doesn't actually protect you anymore. So it doesn't take damage. Here we just preserve space as best we can. If you get Icy Devastator, you probably want to pop mirrors or at least shield yourself. It doesn't actually hurt that much even on Tyrannical after the changes, but might as well preserve yourself and not die. So we get an SKB go here, but he goes mid. I saw that he was going mid, so I don't cast. You can line up your SKB hard cast right as he comes down, so I start doing it right now, and I'm going to press combust at the same time. Get my full go. Here's where I make up for most of my damage. As you can see, I was really low on the meters there during that whole time because there's that awkward little bit. I altered there, back to my rune, just to reserve a little bit of space. Doesn't matter that much. I get Devastator. I'm in my combust go, so I'm just like, I'm just going to let my healer heal me. I trust in him, and he does fine. So, make up for most of our damage loss there. As you can see, we're up near the monk now. We're chilling. Here I have time to get off my SKB and my Pyroclasm. Oh, my Pyroclasm might drop. No, I barely got it off. So here I'm just saving space because I'm Mage. And then we get one more rune, and then the boss is dead. So, boss is pretty chill, even on Tyrannical now. You used to instantly take damage from that, like the tick damage, but now you have like a little bit of a grace period, and that feels a lot better instead of going down really low. So now we're on the last boss, and this boss is a little bit of a puzzle to solve on Fire Mage, and I'll go through the best way I solved it. So here I'm in chat, I'm typing on like trying to figure out when I want to lust for the party. And I decided to do it at 50%, and I just don't tell them because I was having a debate with myself of when I should lust. So I'm building up my SKB go, saving my cooldowns. So at 75%, 50%, and 25%, he spits out crystals that you have to deal with. And the crystals are the main problem in this fight for us, is just dealing with crystals. If you don't kill them, they'll wipe you. So here we're nearing 75%. I blew my whole load there, and I'm saving shifting power for the crystals. I do have Monk here. Monk is really good with dealing with these crystals. And this lock also does a lot of damage to him. So I don't need to have the most damage in the world, but I still do need to help my team and get off boss for a bit and deal with the crystals. Here I see the crystal close to boss there, but I still go on boss and we barely kill it in time. Here soon I type out that, yeah, right here I type out that I'm lusting at this set. I think the 50% set is a little scary because we assume that most of us use cooldowns on the first set or near the first set. So we'll have cooldowns back for the third set, but the second set you might be out of cooldowns for. So here I get combust up. I'm getting my SKB go, and then I'm going to combust with it. So here I start hardcasting my pyro, and I get to press lust at the same time, and now we get to go ham. I do it on the crystals just because I'm like, we have so much time. As long as we just do this crystal set, we're going to time the key. It's not best for damage. Obviously, if I was just going for my own DPS, I would just be on the boss the entire time, but might as well deal with the crystals and make it easy. Here I have a lock right next to me. We get an easy clear. Feels good. Now we're just doing our go. Get my Hardcast SKB with Pyroclasm. I see the frontal going at me, so I just blink out. I'm fine. I save Shifting Power here. Saving Shifting Power for these crystals does help a lot. Here you can see they're all grouped together. We do have Monk. Monk just like instantly one taps one of them. And Monk has all the damage in the world for these crystals, so I just go back to boss. I know that they're all going to die. And there's no more crystal sets, so the tank actually dies here to the frontal, and he calls for B-res really quick. This was the only group mess up of the whole entire dungeon. So, but we get our double B-res. We had B-res to spare, and now we can easily kill the boss. I think it was Tank Buster that killed him, and then right afterwards he slapped a melee. Not entirely sure, but yeah, this boss can hurt tanks a lot, so not that surprised. And that's the dungeon. We finished with like 5 minutes left, and that was my first timed 20 AV, and it felt really clean. So that's the end of this dungeon. We end at 73.5 overall, which is really, really good for AV. I end up showing my damage recap, and I think you can get up near 80k. I think that I played pretty well overall in this dungeon, but I could have been near 80k. And after buffs, I'll definitely be near 80k. Smile. So here's the overall recap, and I'll catch you guys in the next video.